So I'm going to talk to you about easy fundraising, how it works, and how you can use it for your organisation. So I will go through how it works, who we are, getting started, and then I'll also do you a demo of how the website actually works and talk to you about some of the tools that we have to help your organisation raise as much as possible. Hopefully I'll cover off everything or most of what you need to know, but feel free to put the questions in the chat, and if it's appropriate, I'll pause halfway and answer them. If not, I'll answer them at the end. So who are we? We are a fundraising platform. We are completely free. So that's the first thing to say. You will not get charged anything as an organisation for using easy fundraising, and neither will your supporters. It's a totally free online fundraising platform. And what we basically do is turn online shopping into donations for your organisation. We've been doing this for over 15 years now. Members of the Institute of Fundraising and CVO, we partner with CAN, we partner with lots of other infrastructure organisations to enable good causes all around the country to raise funds. About 190,000 good causes currently use the platform, and just over £45 million has been raised to date. So what do we do, which is what you're here to find out? We basically turn the online shopping that you and your supporters are doing into free monetary donations for your organisation. So by supporters, I mean your staff if you have them, volunteers if you have them, your service users, ex-service users, your family and friends, your community, anybody who shops online and would like to help your good cause, your organisation, can do so. So the easiest way to describe how it works, if you don't know, and I'm assuming for this session that I think some of you may be already registered with us, but I'm going to assume that no one's registered and no one understands anything about it, and I'll explain it exactly as you need to know. So if you wanted to do some online shopping, normally you would go straight to a retailer's website and you would search search what you want to buy and buy it. What you do to raise funds with easy fundraising is, instead of going straight to the retailer's website, you simply access the retailer through the easy fundraising website instead. So you would come to the easy fundraising website, search for the retailer you want to shop with. We will send you out to the retailer where you shop completely as normally. And the retailer, because you've started easy fundraising, will then donate a certain percentage of what you've spent back to your organisation at no extra cost to you, the shopper. So if you were going to go, you wanted to buy something from Argos, you wanted to buy a kettle and it was going to be £50 for argument's sake, you will only be spending that £50. You won't be spending any more. You'll just shop as normal with Argos, but because you've started at easy fundraising, you will raise a donation. Argos will make a donation back to your good cause. So that's how it works. It's just turning that online shopping into free donations. There are over 7,500 retailers that partner with us that are all happy to give back to your organisation. So this is everybody that you can really think of, all of your main online retailers and some smaller niche retailers too, but really everywhere that you might be shopping online already. It's an alternative to Amazon Smile. So some of you might have used or heard of Amazon Smile before. So this was Amazon's equivalent of this, where you could get donations for shopping with Amazon. That closed very suddenly in February. It was quite a surprise to the whole sector. Nobody was really expecting it. So if you're an organisation that was using Amazon Smile to raise donations when you shop with Amazon, you can use easy fundraising instead, because we have 7,500 other retailers that will all donate to your organisation. And it's a new income stream for your organisation. It's something that you can do to bring in some additional income alongside anything else you might already be doing. So I just wanted to touch on online shopping. We're all doing it, basically. So 110 billion spent online last year, 60 million of us in the UK shop online, and nearly 40% of all the shopping in the UK is done online currently. So what I'm getting at here is that your supporters are already shopping online. They are already doing this anyway. And all we're doing is enabling you to benefit from that, because we are all shopping online all the time anyway. Some of the benefits of easy fundraising, before I go on to show you exactly how it works, is that, as I've said, it's completely free. It's safe, as I mentioned at the start. We're members of the Institute of Fundraising and NCVO, so we take your fundraising seriously. It's really easy to set up and get up and running. It doesn't take a lot of maintenance to have running, and it's a reliable form of fundraising that should bring you in funds on an ongoing basis. And crucially, it's also unrestricted funding, so you can use the money you raise through Easy Fundraising however you want. If you want to use it for a certain project, that's fine. If you just want to use it to offset your running costs, to keep the lights on, that's also fine. You won't need to tell us what you're going to be raising for. We don't need outcomes or anything like that. We trust that you will just use the funds however you see fit. Something that should complement any other fundraising or funding that you're doing. So if you are applying for grants or looking at bids and things like that, or doing face-to-face fundraising or doing events, anything like that, you can carry on and do all of those as well as doing Easy Fundraising, because this is something that should tick along nicely in the background. And because there are over 7,000 retailers involved, you're not needing to ask your supporters to change where they shop or do something different, because the retailers that they already shop with are involved. And just to be clear, this isn't about encouraging people to spend more or shop more or buy more than they're comfortable with. You know, we all know right now times are really tough for people. So it's not about encouraging people to spend what they're not comfortable with. It's simply asking them, if they were going to make that purchase anyway, if they do it this way through the Easy Fundraising platform, they won't get charged anymore, but your organisation will benefit. So it's a way for people to support you when they might not be able to support you in traditional ways right now. You know, I was reading some surveys recently about the number of people sort of saying that now they're looking to tighten their belts. Charitable giving is one of the first things that goes, unfortunately. So people saying, you know, I want to be able to support my good cause, my charity, my whatever, but I can't afford it right now. But this is a way that they can still help you just by doing what they're doing anyway, without having to physically donate money from their own pocket. Here's a handful of some of our retailers to show you some of the really big ones that we work with. There are so many more. I'm not going to go through them all, don't worry, but it is all of the categories of retailer that you would expect. So department stores, your everyday retailers like eBay and Argos, supermarkets, which I'll come on to later, travel retailers, fashion, home and garden, things like takeaways like Just Eat and Uber Eats, Moonpig cards, Trainline for your train tickets, everything that you are buying online, you'll be able to find a retailer through Easy Fundraising to buy it with. So let me just do you a quick demo of how the Easy Fundraising site works. Oh, hold on a second. I'm just going to need to stop sharing a minute and just open a browser. That's fine. Sorry. Let me just share my screen again. Sorry, my browser had disappeared. So this is the Easy Fundraising website. So this is what it looks like from a shopper's point of view. So I'm going to come on to in a minute how you set up as an organisation and how all that works. But I just wanted to show you how it actually works for one of your supporters. So this is my Easy Fundraising account. So you can see here that this is the cause that I support, Home Start Birmingham North West. They have raised £1,168, £74 in the last 30 days. And these are some of my donations that you can see. So £1,405 is how much I have raised. The reason my amount is bigger than theirs is because I supported another cause previously. I used to support my school. So you can see I've got this nice big donation pending here from booking.com, nearly £50. That is, I am taking my family to Prague in August because it's my son's 21st, so that's what that will be. But you can see there's some of my other ones. That's a ticket because I've got to go to an event in Bolton next week. I won't go through all of my donations. There's an embarrassingly large amount of Just Eat donations in there, so I'm not going to show you that. But anyway, this is how it works. So let you just search for the retailer you want to shop with. So you've come to the Easy Fundraising site, you'll have already registered as a shopper, and we already know who you've chosen to support, because what happens is a shopper will choose you, your supporter will choose you as the cause they want to support, and that's who they support. They don't have to keep saying every time they shop, I want to support this cause. We know now that they support you. So they come to the site and they search for the retailer. So I'm going to search for John Lewis. If I type in John here, it brings me up everything that matches John Lewis, the word John, sorry. And if I click on that, it will firstly just take me to this page, which tells me what my donation rate is going to be from John Lewis. 0.5% if I buy one of these products. Everything else, 2% of what I spend is going back to Home Start. Just click shop now, takes me to John Lewis. I shop completely as normally now, get this little notification to tell me that if I buy something, 2% is going to Home Start. That's it now. I'm not shopping with Easy Fundraising, I'm shopping with John Lewis. If I had an account with John Lewis, I could log into that in the normal way. Nothing changes. The only difference is because I've started Easy Fundraising, John Lewis are going to donate back to Home Start. So that's one way you can use the site. You can also look at our categories here. So shop by category. This is for if you're not entirely sure who you want to shop with, but you do know what you want to buy. So if I go here to travel and I go to holiday packages, you can see these are a list of all of our retailers that partner with us where you could buy a holiday package from. So for example, First Choice, that's 2% donation. And if I just click on that, click on shop now, takes me out to First Choice. I shop completely as normally. We also have an app that works in exactly the same way as the website. So it's available for Android and iOS, and you just search for the retailer. It's really good for those sitting on the sofa in the evening type of purchases where you just think, oh, I need to buy this. What we also have lastly is our browser extension. So it's also called our donation reminder. And what this does, this stops you forgetting to use Easy Fundraising. So we've been doing this a long time now. And when we first started, one of the things we heard more than ever was, oh, it's a great idea, love it, forgot to go to Easy Fundraising, went straight to the retailer. And if that happens, the retailer doesn't know you've come from Easy Fundraising, so they can't pay the donation. So what we did is we created the donation reminder. And all you do is you install it onto your desktop or your laptop. And what it does is it sits quietly on your computer. It's not there to spy on you. It's not there to serve you adverts or anything like that. All it does is make sure that if you went straight to a retailer's website without logging into Easy Fundraising, you wouldn't miss out on a donation. So let me show you what I mean. So if I just search for Marks and Spencer, so I'm not in the Easy Fundraising site now. I've just searched for Marks and Spencer's. And you'll see, because I have the donation reminder installed, it pops me up this message. It's basically saying, hey, Becky, we know you're an Easy Fundraising shopper and we know Marks and Spencer's is a partner retailer. So would you like to get a donation? So if I just click that, logs me in the background to my Easy Fundraising account and keeps me on the Marks and Spencer's site and enables my donation. So it's great because firstly, sometimes people forget. And secondly, it might not be that you've forgotten. It might purely be that you just didn't know that retailer was part of Easy Fundraising, because there are so many. And actually last week I was chatting to a colleague who's worked with me for many years, and she needed to book a dog sitter. She was going to a wedding. She needed somebody to look after her dogs. And she said, I was just searching for like dog sitting sites, where you can put in your requirements and people can say, yes, I can babysit your dog. And the retailer, the donation reminder popped up to say, oh, this is an Easy Fundraising retailer. She had no idea, because there are some retailers that you just wouldn't necessarily think of. So the other benefit of the donation reminder is that it will capture any of that you're doing. So if you just happen to be on a retailer's website and it's one of our partner retailers, it will let you enable your donation really simply. So again, it's not there to spy on you. It's not going to slow your computer down or anything like that. And also, just to say at this point, which is something I often get asked, is we are not passing on your data to retailers. So by doing this, by shopping through Easy Fundraising or encouraging your supporters to do this, you are not setting them up to be spammed by retailers. Without getting boring and technical, when you click out from our site and we send you to a retailer, you are anonymized into a series of a code, basically. So the retailer doesn't know who you are. All they know is that you've come from Easy Fundraising. And if you then go on to make a purchase, they will pass that information anonymously back down to us so that we know how much donation you have raised. If you wanted to set up an account with that retailer, or you bought something, or you subscribed to their newsletter, that's entirely up to you. That is nothing to do with Easy Fundraising. So we are not passing on your data to retailers. So don't worry about that, because I know that is a concern for people, you know, and rightly so. Right, I'm just going to go back to the slides. So that was the demo. That was how it all works. And I just sort of touched on that again. So you register your organisation with Easy Fundraising. This is how it works for you as an organisation. You register your organisation with us. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. It's really quick to do. It's free. If you do that after this session, you'll be up and running in 10 minutes. We don't need lots and lots of information from you to get your organisation set up. You then ask your supporters, or tell your supporters and volunteers, etc., to use Easy Fundraising whenever they shop online. And again, I'm going to show you how we help you do that. And then the retailer will donate a certain percentage of what's spent back to your organisation at no cost to anybody. So to get your organisation set up with Easy Fundraising, what you need to do is visit this link, easyfundraising.org.uk/CAN100, and we've set up this link for the relationship that we have with CAN. So if you register through this link, then we know that you're part of the CAN membership, if you like, and we can give you a bit of extra support. And we'll also we will make a donation to CAN100 as well, if you register with us, so that they can carry on doing the work that they do. So we do that. So there's a benefit for everybody. So if you do plan to register, please do it through this link, because not only will you be able to raise funds, but we'll also be able to help CAN keep on doing the things they do, like putting on these free sessions and whatnot. So you'll come to this page and you will see this text box here where you enter the name of your organisation and click sign us up. Then we will just need you to put in your name, email address and a password. And what we're doing at that point is we are creating a page on our site for your organisation, and we're also registering you as the admin, the first user, the first supporter of that organisation. So you don't need to register again. When you register your course, you also register yourself at the same time. We'll ask you if you'd like to put a little description in of your organisation, what you do, what you're raising for, etc. You don't have to do that there and then. If you don't have it to hand, you can come back and do it later. You can still register. And we will also ask you whether you'd like to put a phone number in. And this is so that if you would like one of the team to give you a call to talk you through anything you need to know, we can do that. So don't worry, we're not going to be calling you. There's an area of the site that you can go to where if you feel like you need a bit of extra help and support, you can book a time and a date for a member of the team to give you a call, and somebody will call you at that time and you can ask any questions you want, or they can give you a demo of the site like I've just done, anything you need. So again, you don't have to do that. You don't have to put your phone number in. It's just if you do want that extra support, it's something that we offer to all of our good causes. Once you've done that, you will have a page on our site that looks like this. So this is Home Start's page. This is their course page. So when I said about adding a little description, they put theirs in there, and they also added in a logo. Again, you can do all of this afterwards. We can set up your page without that information. The crucial thing about this page is here, sign up and support this cause, because once you've registered, what we will help you to do is tell your supporters to come to this page and click on that button. All they will then need to do is put in a name, an email address and a password, and we will create them a little online account that links to your cause. And then every time they use the Easy Fundraising site or the app or the donation reminder, the money goes to you. So as I said before, they don't have to do this every time they want to shop. They do it once, and we know that they then support you. We don't need their address. We don't need their credit card details. We don't need their mother's maiden name. We don't need their horoscope, nothing like that. They're not shopping with us. They're shopping with the retailer. All we're doing is creating them an account that links to yours. Once they've done that, every time they use Easy Fundraising, the money goes to you. So before I show you how we help you get your supporters over to this page, I'm just going to cover off a few things that might be running through your mind at this stage. You don't have to be a charity to use Easy Fundraising. Any good cause is eligible to join Easy Fundraising. So you can be a CIC, a social enterprise, a voluntary group, you can be a church, you can be a grassroots sports club, you can be a school PTA. You just have to be, you can't register something that is for personal gain, is the general rule of thumb. So for example, you couldn't register because you want to save up and go on holiday. That would not, you would not be eligible. But if you were registering an organisation that is going to take a group of disadvantaged children on holiday, that would be fine, as an example. But you have to be, we have to know that your organisation exists in some form. So you don't need to have a particular constitution. You don't need to be a particular size or anything like that. But we just need to be confident that you do exist, that you're not that I'm accusing any of you guys of doing this, but that you're not registering a cause and actually the money's going into your pocket. And occasionally, people will try that, but we have a team in the office who manually validate every cause that wants to join us. By that, I mean, they do the due diligence to check that your cause exists. So they might check whether, do you have a website, or do you have a Facebook group or a Facebook page, or do you have, can we find evidence of you? We're not looking to turn you away. We're looking to enable as many causes as possible to raise funds, but we have to do this due diligence just to make sure that it's safe and secure for everybody. You also can't register a cause that sort of isn't yet a cause, really, or an idea of a cause. So for example, we sometimes might get people registering with a cause name of, I'm going to help people in Ukraine or something like that. But we would have to say, well, that's not actually a cause. If you want to do that, there are causes you can support, but that's not actually a cause. But as I say, we're not looking to turn you away. If we can't find evidence of you, we will just email you back and just say, hey, could you just tell us a bit more about what you do? And once we're happy that you exist, even if you're a 3-person knit and natter group who meets in the church hall on a Saturday morning, providing we are happy that you exist. And that is also a good thing about the relationship with CAN, because they will have this relationship with you already. So if we were ever not sure, I would just check with Chris and say, oh, do you know these guys? And he'd go, oh yeah, they're absolutely fine. They're a brand new, they've just set up. That's why they don't have a Facebook page. Anyway, so it won't cost you anything. No running costs, no monthly costs, no drawdown fees, nothing like that. And same for your supporters. We're funded by the retailers. They will pay us a commission if somebody makes a purchase with them. That's separate to the donation that the cause raises. And you might also see that sometimes we have retailers might pay for a space on our website, like a banner or something. That's how we are funded. And we use that money to continue to keep the site running and continue to help good causes raise. You'll be paid your donations every 3 months. We total up everything that has been raised by all of your supporters, and we pay it directly to you. So we don't give it to the supporters and they give it to you, it goes to you. So you'll need to have a bank account that we can pay it into, or we can pay it by check to your organisation. And again, that's another of our due diligence things, that in the first few weeks of you joining us, we'll ask you to tell us how you want to be paid. So you can securely add your cause's payment details. Only you as the admin will be able to do that. Only you can see that. I can't see your payment details. None of your supporters can see them. It's in a secure area of the site. You tell us how you would like us to pay you and we will pay you. You have to have raised £15 in the quarter to trigger a payment. So 15. Let's say you registered today. You may not have raised £15 by the end of March, so you might not get a payment in this time, but you will never lose that money. It will just roll into the next quarter and we will pay you the next time. So we'll never take that money away from you. In terms of how much you could raise, there's a general rule of thumb. One supporter doing an average amount of shopping online across a year should raise £30 for you. If they have the donation reminder, it will be more like £50 per person per year. But actually, I'm going to show you in a minute, there's some ways where one person can raise much in excess of that just on their own. And you just saw my genuine donation with booking.com for my holiday, which is £45. That's one donation. Getting your supporters involved. how do you get your supporters over to your page and get them to sign up and support you? Oh, sorry, let me click off that. So I'm going to go back to the site and I'm going to show you that what we have here is this area, promote my cause. Once you've registered, we will enable you to tell your supporters all about Easy Fundraising. So you've got access to this area, and this is where we have put everything that we think you will need to tell your supporters, and it is all bespoke for you. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you registered after this session and this afternoon you come to this area and you click on find out more here. What you've got here is some ready written communications that you can send straight out to your supporters. Let me use Facebook as an example. So there's a Facebook post here. Because this is my cause, it says we've registered Birmingham Homestart Northwest. For you, it will say the name of your cause. So for Carol, it will say Autism Unlimited. And it also then is automatically populated with the link to the page that they need to go to with that button that says sign up and support this cause. So all you would be doing here is copying that, clicking post to Facebook. It will open into Facebook with a nice image and you paste your wording in and there you go, you've shared that out. You can change that wording if you want. You don't have to use that, but it's tried and tested. It's all there for you. Same for Twitter, WhatsApp and text message. Maybe you prefer to send an email. Again, a ready written email, auto-populated with what you need. If you have a website, you could add information to your website because here you'll find text, logos, banners, all sorts of things. Then down the side here, we've got lots of other things. So posters, flyers and handouts, if you may be doing a face-to-face event, how-to videos that you can share with your supporters. And also a variety of wording in various communication channels. So if I use Facebook again as an example, we know that you won't just want to sort of tell them once and then never tell them again. You'll want to keep reminding them. You'll want to keep them up to date with how it's going. You'll want to keep kind of jogging their memory. So here you've got various different wording that all suits Facebook. So for example, here you've got, we want to raise, so let's say we wanted to raise a certain amount of money to buy a certain amount of thing, a certain thing, or do a certain project. You could populate that, but again, automatically populated there. This is a nice one as well. Just want to let you supporters know how much you've already raised with Easy Fundraising, to thank them and keep them going. And again, you'll find that in Twitter, WhatsApp, text, Instagram, email, newsletters, all sorts of things. You'll also find more specific bits of wording. So if you would like to encourage your supporters to use that donation reminder tool that I showed you, you've got here, you've got wording to explain that, how the donation reminder works. And again, the link they'd need to go to download it, information about the app. There's so much here. There's also this month's messages, which is where we put anything relevant or timely. So we often have competitions running where good causes can win donations. So we will have something for Easter shortly where I think it's going to be you could win a £250 donation, and you'll find wording to encourage your supporters to get involved with that. We have double donations at the moment. Again, here's a bit of wording to sort of say to your supporters, all of these retailers have currently got double donations. So if you're planning to shop with them, so you'll always find new, timely, relevant messaging here. One thing to say about this area as well that's really useful is that not just you has access to this. So you as the admin have access to things like the payment details and the cause description and the logo. Only you can do that. But any of your supporters can come to this area, providing they've registered to support you. They will have access to you to this as well. And the reason we've done that is because we appreciate that just because you're the person that's registered the organisation, you might not be the person that does the social media or writes the newsletter, or is responsible for printing things off. Or it might be that you've got a super keen supporter or volunteer that just wants to do whatever they can. So you could say to them, well, actually, can you come here and, talk about Easy Fundraising, tell people, print off these flyers, whatever. So we've enabled that so that it doesn't just have to be you that is banging the drum and spreading the word. So that's promote my cause, and that's where you go to once you've registered to get everything you need to start telling your supporters. Just going to touch on now some ways in which our cause is raised really well. So one is supermarkets, which I mentioned at the start. We work with all of the leading supermarkets, and all via a bar Ocado will give you a donation, whether you're already a shopper with them or whether you're a brand new shopper for them. So you can see at the moment, Asda is £4.50 if you're a new supporter, a new shopper, £1 for every other one. So if you have a supporter that is shopping weekly with Asda, they're raising £52 for you in a year just with that one retailer. So that's what I sort of meant about why, some people can raise a lot more, because that Asda shopper might also be booking a holiday and might also be booking or buying this, that, or the other, but they're raising over £50 just with Asda, just doing that grocery shopping online that they do anyway. That's the key thing here. They're already doing this. There's wording in Promote My Course to help you tell supporters about this. Travel and holidays, I showed you my booking.com one. I'm also going to be, for that trip, I'm also going to be booking transport to the airport. And I'm also going to be booking transport from the airport to where I'm going to be staying in Prague. And I'm potentially going to be booking a car while we're there as well. All of those can get me a donation. Travel insurance can get me a donation. All sorts of different sorts of holidays, so flights, package holidays, cruises, ferries, UK holidays as well. Also things like National Express coaches. I raised a donation last year going from Birmingham to Heathrow on a National Express coach. Much better experience than I thought it was going to be, actually. Would very much recommend them. And it's anything like that. Trainline's a great one. You can get a donation every time you book a train ticket, and that doesn't need to be a Birmingham to London or Bournemouth to London. That can be a Bournemouth to, excuse my lack of knowledge of the area, the next town along. It doesn't have to be a big a big ticket. All of those will get you a donation every time you use it. So it's well worth. And when you're chatting to supporters and they might mention, oh, yeah, I'm thinking of going on holiday, I'm thinking of going to Lanzarote in July, just go, oh, well, who are you planning to book with? Oh, I'm thinking of booking with 2 Oh, they're an Easy Fundraising retailer. Could you do it through Easy Fundraising? Because you'll get a donation at the same time. Again, wording in Promote My Course to help you explain all of that. Another area is the sort of retailer where you are going to take a contract with them. So things like I've said here, insurance, TV and broadband, mobiles, finance, that sort of thing. This sort of retailer won't give you a donation as a percentage of what you've spent, because they don't necessarily know how much you might spend over the term of your contract. So if you say like a Vodafone mobile contract for 24 months, they don't know if you might spend more one month than the other, so they don't know how much you'll spend. So instead what they do is they give you a much larger one-off amount when you take a new policy with them. Has to be a new policy on this occasion. There are a handful that will give you a donation if you are renewing, but as a rule of thumb, this sort of retailer will have to be a new policy. But the donation can be 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds just for taking out a new policy. And the benefit of it being a new policy with a new provider is that you will probably get a better deal yourself. We've all had that situation where you get your renewal through from your car insurer and it's gone up for no apparent reason. Whereas if you'd gone with a new provider, you'd get a better preferential new customer rate. So while these retailers won't give a donation if you're renewing, if you do take a new policy elsewhere, you will probably pay less on your policy and you will raise a donation. There are also some really, really large donations, quite niche, I grant you. So things like life insurance and ISA, so LV, Liverpool Victoria, are a good example. I think last time I looked, they had one of their top life insurance policy, and the donation was £500. Now I know that's not a niche, it's a niche purchase. It's not you don't wake up in the morning and think, oh, might buy some life insurance today. But if somebody was thinking about doing that, there are donations to be had, and I have seen causes benefit from those big donations. So again, wording in Promote My Cause to help you with that. And the last kind of top tip is business purchases, and this works in a number of ways. So one would be, think about your own organisation. What do you buy? Do you have an office where you need to buy ink and toner? Does somebody that you work with, do they need to buy a new laptop for work? Office furniture, staff travel, events, maybe you're putting on an event and you need to buy things. So think about the things that you as an organisation need to buy, because you can buy for your organisation and raise for it at the same time. I spoke to a cause recently, and they're only quite a small cause. They've only got a handful of paid staff, but 2 of them need new laptops. So they're buying them from HP and they're raising a donation for themselves at the same time. That's one way that business purchases work. Another way is think about your network of supporters, your trustees, people that have helped you out in the past. Do any of them buy for business? Do they run their own business? Do they travel for business? Trustees are often a really good source of this, because often a trustee is involved in business as well. A good example of this is my colleague here. She supports a brownie unit, quite a small brownie unit. I think they only have about 10 or 11 girls. So not many parents involved, but one of the supporters is a lady who travels regularly by train line. She has to travel to London, and she often has to stay over as well, and she does all of that through Easy Fundraising, and she's their top raiser. She's raised over £100 on her own, and these are purchases she's making anyway. She can claim them back on expenses, doesn't affect that at all. On the receipt that she gets, it doesn't mention the donation or anything like that. So she can claim it all back. It's no problem. And lastly, have you got any businesses that have supported you in the past? Maybe they've had you as their cause of the year, or you have your local accountant who does your end of year accounts for you, or just any organisation, any business that has helped you in the past or that you have links with. Ask them about their business buying. Ask them if their buyer, the person that does their office buying, can use Easy Fundraising. We always have a charity of the year that we support at Easy Fundraising. Actually, this year it's my cause, it's Home Start. We all had to do a little bit of a pitch about who we wanted to support, and I won. I was really pleased. So Home Start, my little Home Start branch, are going to be our cause of the year this year, and that means all of the buying that our office manager has to do to keep our little offices in Lichfield running, all of that with Viking and Euro Office and all of those people, she'll do that through Easy Fundraising, and the money will go to Home Start. So that's another way you can really sort of tap into some additional donations. It's a very viable alternative, because 7,500 other retailers will donate, and usually their donation rate will be bigger than Amazon's was. Your community can support you for free, so you're not asking them to donate. They are just raising money for you by doing what they do anyway. And it's very easy to implement, and it's very easy to manage. It shouldn't take you lots of time. It should be low effort, passive form of fundraising that you can do all year round. So the next steps for you, if you haven't already registered, would be to register here. If you're already registered and you need a bit of extra help, or if you think that you might be registered but you're not sure, you don't know who registered, you don't know the details, just drop me an email and I can sort that out for you. There is my email address, which Chris will circulate afterwards anyway. And now I'm going to stop sharing, and I am going to answer the question. I can say, assume these donations cannot attract gift aid. No, you can't, unfortunately not. You can't get gift aid on these donations. Any other questions anyone would like to ask?
Feel free to just unmute if you would like to ask a question, but also, Becky, that was very thorough, thank you. So I wouldn't be surprised if I know you've done this a few times, so
yeah, we'll try to cover off kind of what the questions that I know will get asked. Other things that people will sometimes ask me is sometimes people are concerned that their supporters might think there's a privacy issue. So there isn't. As the admin, you will be able to see a list of the people that are supporting you, but you can only see their first name and their initials. So if Chris was one of my supporters, I would only be able to see him as Chris S. and I would only be able to see how much he's raised for my cause. I can't see where he shopped or what he's bought, and nobody else can see that. And actually, if Chris didn't even want it to appear as Chris S, he could tick to be anonymous. So on my list of supporters, he would be anonymous and the amount that he's raised. There is a way as well that you can communicate with your supporters through the Easy Fundraising platform. I won't show you that today, but basically you can write some messages that we can send out for you at key points. So when a new supporter joins you, when they've raised their first donation, when they've raised their first £5, that sort of thing, you write the wording, thank you very much for raising your first donation. This is going to really help us. Please keep going. We will trigger that message off to your supporters as they hit that milestone, because we can't give you their email address because of GDPR, obviously. So that's how we've got around that, so that it can be your words, but we can securely send it. You and your supporters can choose to receive our newsletters if they want, which will be things like retailers that have got particularly good donations, or sometimes retailer offers. Sometimes we have bespoke kind of voucher codes and things from our retailers. So if you want to, you can have our newsletter where we will keep you up to date with with retailers with big donations, that sort of thing. You can support more than one cause if you want to. So you can just, it will always default to the cause that you last supported. But if you had 2 causes that you were supporting, so I've done this myself. At one point, I had all my 3 children, all at different schools, all using Easy Fundraising. All you do is you just go into your account and change the cause you support. It's very simple to do, and then you will be supporting that cause until such time as you tell us otherwise. And you can also be the admin of more than one cause as well. So if you are involved, if you have more than one cause that you think could benefit from this, you can register them both yourself and have 2 separate admin accounts. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I usually get asked.
I've got a question.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it applies to anyone in the room, but do you ever have challenges where you might have an organisation, a local group that is part of a bigger organisation? So there may be like 5, 10, 20 versions of it across the county, across the country, and
Yes.
differentiating between themselves and being part of the bigger entity.
Yeah, absolutely. So Homestart would be a good example. So Homestart UK are a cause with us, but most of their individual Homestart branches around the country can also register and raise with us. So if you are part of a large organisation, so another example would be, we've got lots of catch protection regional branches. So all you would do there is, let's say it was Cats Protection and you were the Bournemouth branch, you would register as Cats Protection Bournemouth, and that differentiates you from any other Cats Protection and also main Cats Protection HQ. So yes, that does happen. Another thing I was going to say as well, actually, which just reminded me, is something that some of our causes do, which is often lots of fun, is because you can see a little leaderboard of your supporters. Sometimes they do little competitions amongst supporters to say, Chris has raised the most this week, can you beat him? Or whoever raises the most this week or this month or this whatever will win a bottle of wine or whatever. Just a bit of fun. And often the supporters of the causes, particularly if you're quite a close-knit group and you know each other, get really nicely competitive, not nastily competitive, just kind of like, oh, I want to beat Chris, he's raised £10, but I'm going to try and beat 11. So that's a top tip that we had from a few causes, saying it just encourages people to get involved. Another top tip is, if you've got a face-to-face event coming up, it's really good to demo Easy Fundraising to people if that was appropriate. So I went to a school open evening once, and they had Easy Fundraising, and they got a screen set up in their library, and the admin was showing people. She was, as they came in, she was going, do you shop online? And they were going, yeah, I do. Where do you shop with? And they go, oh, I shop with Marks and Spencer. And she'd go, right, come here. And she would show them how it worked, and she would show them her recent donations. And it just helped people to understand that it's not a scam, that it genuinely works. They could see the donations. And she was also helping them to get signed up there and then as well. So that's something else you can do as well, which it often works quite well if you've got an appropriate event where you are able to talk to people. or even an online event as well. Actually, you can do that as well.
I think Carol's asked another question in the chat.
Okay. Can I see who they are on my account, or only when a donation is received, a claim is made? No, you should be able to see it. What I'll do, Carol, is I will send you a link. So there's an area that you can go to where you should be able to see your supporters regardless. So because I'm not logged in as an admin, I can't share that. I can't show you the link now, but if it's okay with you, then if Chris passes me over your email address, I will get back to you and I'll send you the link that you need to go to where you can see more granular detail about your supporters. Let me just make a note of that. But yeah, you should be able to see whether they've raised or not. You'll be able to see who they are and when they've registered as well.
I've got a question as well, Becky, if that's okay.
Of course.
I guess it's the reverse of what Chris asked earlier about like bigger organizations. It's more for going the other way, like the way down. So I work with an organization that is a local charity that supports young people through creative arts, and we have got a overarching easy fundraising account, which is good.
Okay.
But within our organization, we also have like different projects for different things as well.
Yeah.
So as well as having an overall easy fundraising, could you have it like project based as well to do its own fundraising?
You absolutely can. You would just, when you register, you would just need to make sure the name is different to your main. What's the name of your charity?
We're called AIM Community, AIM
Okay.
Community.
So rather than registering it again as AIM Community, you'd have to call it something like AIM Community and then dash whatever the project is, or something like something so that it differentiates it. Because if you try and register with the same organisation name, our system will say this organisation is already registered.
Okay.
Yeah, you can absolutely register for different projects, and we do see that, because you might have different, different pots of supporters for different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's absolutely fine. Just use a different name. It doesn't have to be vastly different. It just has to be different enough so that our system doesn't go, you're already here.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.